مشاهدينا في كل مكان، اهلا بيكم. احنا معاكم النهارده هنستكمل حوارنا مع سعاده السفير داج يولين دامفيلد، سفير مملكه السويد لدى جمهوريه مصر العربيه. في لقاء اليوم هنتحدث عن تاريخ العلاقات ما بين الدولتين، وايضا هنتحدث عن حجم التبادل التجاري والاستثمارات. فابقوا معنا وتابعونا. مشاهدينا في كل مكان، اهلا بيكم. احنا معاكم النهارده هنستكمل حوارنا مع سعاده السفير داج يولين دامفيلد، سفير مملكه السويد لدى جمهوريه مصر العربيه. Your Excellency, thank you so much again for having us for the second time.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure and honor to be interviewed by you. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, in this episode we would like to start about talking about the history of the relations between Egypt and Sweden. Can you please give us a hint about it?
The history between Sweden and Egypt goes very far back. Sweden, as I think we mentioned in the first program, was a big merchant naval country in older times, and we had Swedish ships coming to Alexandria very frequently. So we had a big presence in Alexandria from the late 1800s or early 1800s, and then of course when the Swedish king at the time, the grandfather of the present king, met his wife, it was in Egypt.
Really?
Yeah, the person who was king of Sweden when I was born, Gustavus VI Adolf, was also an archaeologist. So he spent a lot of time when he was a young man in Egypt digging for old artifacts. And as a matter of fact, he met his wife here, who was also an archaeologist who digging different sites. And the two of them met. This was during the time of the monarchy. They met at the party in honor of my king at the Abedin Palace in Cairo. And this was, a long time ago, but it's of course with this link, this attachment to Egypt. Egypt has always been a very important country for Sweden, and then of course Egypt has, it's a country that is self-promoting in the sense that Egypt doesn't need any promotion. Initiatives or programs, because you have the pharaohs, you have the pyramids, you have a history that is you have the Nile, second to none, and so Egypt, everyone in Sweden knows about Egypt.
Your Excellency, do we have any plans to increase the trading between Egypt and Sweden in the future?
We have an Egyptian embassy in Stockholm, which works very arduously in trying to increase Egyptian exports to Sweden, and it's also part of my embassy's work. Trade goes both ways,
yes.
And a healthy trade relationship must be balanced in the long term. So while we do not engage actively in helping Egyptian companies enter the Swedish markets, we do provide information.
I was going to ask about the investment, really. Yes, about
we don't have investments. I'm sorry to say.
No Swedish investment.
No, we have a lot of Swedish. This is the thing. This is why we have this trade advantage, because we have massive Swedish investments since long.
Are you going to exceed these things also in the future?
Pardon?
Are you going to expand the investment here in Egypt?
Where there is where there is money to be made, companies go. It's not a government. I mean,
yes.
For us, business is strictly non-governmental. It's non-state actors, but I know Swedish companies go where there are good business opportunities, and And good business opportunities is characterized by certain basic phenomena such as strict rule of law, non-corruption, transparency. That you have conditions that makes it possible to foresee what is going to happen. If I invest 5 million crowns, I want to know what is going to happen with the 5 million crowns. I don't want the government to go in and create new rules. I want to know the rules of the game. In Sweden, the rules of the game has never changed. Mm-hmm. They're the same, and which why it's equally important for us to attract investment to Sweden, mm-hmm. as it is for Egypt to attract foreign. But we have a lot of Swedish investments in Egypt.
You want to make the opposite now.
Yeah, and we hope that Egypt, But you have a new Egyptian ambassador. The outgoing ambassador has been working very hard. Ahmed Adel has been working very hard on promoting investments in Sweden, Egyptian investments in Sweden, and I know that the new incoming ambassador, Najla Naguib, is also very much focused on trade, and we had many meetings here in Cairo before she left for Sweden, and it all boils down to trade. And my encouragement to her was to please make Egyptian companies more enthusiastic about investing in Sweden, because investing in Sweden is as important for us, for my economy, as it is for the Egyptian economy.
This is the new plans that we are having now for Egypt in the field of investment and industry, that we're gonna really go around the world in new investment, Egyptian investment. That's the new plans.
Yeah, and you have big companies. You have like Oracle. You have big companies.
And we want to open new fields. That's for sure.
ستوكهولم عاصمة السويد.
Your Excellency, if I talked about cooperation in the field of health or education, what can we say about it?
In health, we have very strong cooperation, and the Egyptian Minister of Health, Mr. Ghaffar, is coming to Sweden in 2 months. Mm-hmm. So we are preparing his program now, trying to make him not only meet his Swedish counterpart, but also to visit Swedish health institutions such as the Karolinska Hospital, such as the University of Uppsala and Lund, and then we have, of course, Swedish health companies who have invested. Some of the biggest Swedish investments in Egypt are within the health sector. Mm. So this is very active, very active. Then we hope, right now this week, Sweden's Minister of Higher Education is in Sweden. Not on a bilateral visit, but because Sweden is hosting a big international higher education conference this week. Mm-hmm. And he will be meeting with his Swedish counterparts while in Sweden.
Scholarships, offers, and things
we have every year, this conference will not be focusing on schools, that's more bilateral. Mm-hmm. The conference will focus on the big academic picture, I think, how to foster increased cooperation, etc. But bilaterally, yes, we do have. Every year, we do have scholarships. Every year we host, in the spring, we host an event here in the embassy where we introduce Sweden to, normally it's between 30, 40, 50 students who are going to do their master's studies in Sweden. So me and my collaborators, we explain how it is to live in Sweden, what they can expect. It's a very cold country, very different from Egypt, what the Egyptians are used to, and I think we had just 2 weeks ago. I hosted here a coffee, what we call fika in Swedish, a coffee for 10 Egyptian students who are going to do their PhDs in Sweden, in different Swedish cities, from Luleå in the north to Stockholm to Lund in the south. And focusing on different areas such as aeronautics, different scientific STEM sciences, to humanities. So it was very inspiring. It was very inspiring for me to meet these young Egyptians who will go to my country as ambassadors. They will not be a formal diplomatic ambassador, but they are ambassadors of Egypt because they are Egyptian, and they will engage with my compatriots.
That's great.
We take this very seriously. We take it very seriously.
يعد متحف
Any country and people, you have to go around to try their culture, their food, for example. So, did you try the Egyptian cuisine? And what's your favorite dish in it?
I tried many different dishes in Egypt, and I love Egyptian food. I love Middle Eastern food, and I think among my favorites is probably kosari. I don't know if I pronounce it. Koshari, yeah. It's a very healthy dish. It's very green, and it's very tasty with the right spices. So I like it very much.
And did you try other things like mahshi, molokhia, these things?
Yeah. I don't know the names, but it's this it's kind of a falafel-like thing.
It's falafel.
Yes.
Okay. We didn't have the chance to talk about the Sweden cuisine, because here in Egypt we like the most let's say famous dish, which is meatballs, Swedish meatballs. So can you tell us about the Sweden cuisines and what distinguish it?
The Swedish cuisine is very simple, very basic. This is the traditional Swedish cuisine. I must imagine, in a country with an Arctic climate, agriculture is very limited. We only can grow things summertime, and then we have to cultivate for the whole year. Today's world, when we can import mangoes from Egypt, of course, it's a different world. You can get anything any time of the year because of international trade. If I go back to the old Swedish cuisine, which is rather rare, I think one favorite is meatballs. Meatballs, which I think is originally meatballs comes from Turkey. When Sweden in the old times, in the 16th, 17th, 18th
through
century.
the trading they got it.
No. It's through war.
War.
Sweden was a war-making nation, and one of our last big war-making kings, Charles XII, he was fighting mainly against Russia when Tsar Peter the Great. Initially they fought for 30 years. Initially Sweden won, but then due to its size, Russia started taking over. And the last big battle between Sweden and Russia was in Poltava, which is in today's Ukraine. Sweden lost. And the Swedish army had to take refuge in Turkey. And they stayed there for a very long time. And when the Swedish soldiers, bit by bit, went back to Sweden from Turkey, they brought with them Turkish traditions, such as kofta, which we call meatballs.
But the Swedish dish, the meatballs, become international and become worldwide name in all the countries everywhere in the world. That's very good.
تتمتع
I would like to thank you so much for this interview. It was a pleasure having you with us in the program, and thank you so much for all this information that you shared with us.
Thank you very much for your interest in my country, Sweden. It's been an honor and pleasure to answer your questions, and I'm at your service anytime. The embassy is at your service for any kind of information that you wish to have about Sweden. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. وبكده مشاهدينا في كل مكان انتهى لقائنا مع سعادة السفير داج يولين دامفيلد، سفير مملكة السويد لدى جمهورية مصر العربية. تحدثنا مع سعادة السفير في هذه الحلقة عن تاريخ العلاقات ما بين مصر ومملكة السويد، وأيضا تحدثنا عن حجم التبادل التجاري والثقافي ما بين البلدين. أتمنى تكونوا استفدتوا من كل المعلومات اللي احنا أتيحت لنا في لقاء اليوم وفي اللقاء السابق، وأشوفكم على ألف خير إن شاء الله في حلقات قادمة. إلى اللقاء.